Man, in the words of Soldier Slim, you're not my dog. You're not my dog. Don't tell me that. You're not my dog. You're not my dog. You're not my dog. Oh no, Y'all need to understand something, man. These people in the UN, they ain't all people. They ain't all dogs. Watch this. New GOP-backed bill would ban aid to Afghanistan to avoid giving U.S. dollars to the Taliban. But watching the small writing, UN has flown in some $2.9 billion in cash to Afghanistan since they seized control in July. Wait. Pause. Stop. Right there. Joe Biden abandoned all kind of military equipment in Afghanistan. 13 people lost their lives. The news media wants to argue with Donald Trump about that. Kamala Harris in the debate was like, Donald had to, I was so overburdened and underrelieved and disillusioned by the fact that Donald Trump went outside and cut the White House lawn grass himself, and then he came up with the plan for the Afghanistan withdrawal, and it was a terrible plan. He didn't trim the hedges correctly at the White House, and it was a terrible plan. And it wasn't our plan to leave Afghanistan. And Donald came out and said, no, it was a fantastic plan. There were 13 things they needed to do. They didn't do those things, and this happened. But watch this, y'all. So we know the Afghan withdrawal happened under Joe Biden. We saw it on TV. We saw them busting shots at the planes as they was leaving with our own weapons. Yak, 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 yak. All on national TV. Yak, 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 busting shots, right? Then we saw later on, and this is weird. I tried to do the video where I showed you the Taliban riding around and all the military equipment, but YouTube said, no, you can't put that on our YouTube. You have to take that one down, boy. You little Section 8 Mark Robinson. That's what they told me. Anything they called me a Section 8 Mark Robinson. You fake Section 8 Mark Robinson, you going to take that down. And I said, well, damn. I took it down. When Debo be coming around, I be putting my chain inside. But when he leave, I be talking again. So what you trying to tell me is the UN done gave these terrorists, because remember, Taliban is terrorists, $2.9 billion. And then remember, Kamala, Word Salad Harris, was talking about doing a debate. She said, well, Donald Trump debate, he flew the Taliban into Camp David. Remember that? Remember she said it? He flew the Taliban into Camp David. And, he disrespected the you know what? Hold on. I'll be right back. Let me let this trick tell you herself. Oh, that's Soldier Slim. Soldier, you not telling me they're not your dog.
Agreed with President Biden's decision to pull out of Afghanistan. 4 presidents said they would, and Joe Biden did. And as a result,
now they had a glamour on her that night. Boy, look, pause. They had a glamour on her that night that she has not had since. I mean, look at her. There is a glamour on this woman
taxpayers
that makes her look like, whoa. Go look at Kamala now. She ain't, I don't know how many oxen, how many pigs, how many chickens that were sacrificed before this thing to make her look like that, to have that kind of glamour. She had it that night.
Are not,
and she still got a butt whoop.
Not paying the $300 million a day. We were paying for that endless war. And as of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world, the first time this century. But let's understand how we got to where we are. Donald Trump, when he was president, negotiated one of the weakest deals you can imagine. He calls himself a deal maker. Even his national security advisor said it was a weak, terrible deal. And here's how it went down. He bypassed the Afghan government. He negotiated directly with a terrorist organization called the Taliban.
Pause. Now, what you're trying to tell me is that the Taliban, who was at the airport busting shots, yaka, 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 at the planes leaving. The Taliban who took all the military equipment, right? You expect me to believe that the people who took all the damn military equipment left over, they don't run the damn government? You dumb witch.
Kabul airport this morning is back up and running. Evacuation flights for U.S. Embassy personnel and contractors in full swing. Flights were stopped yesterday when tens of thousands of Afghans stormed onto the runways, desperate to leave, clinging onto aircraft, trying not to be left behind as the Americans pull out. U.S. troops found themselves overwhelmed as they tried to clear the airport, firing warning shots. The Pentagon says American troops killed 2 armed Afghans, but some Afghans were able to get out. On one flight so full, it may have set a record for the number of people who can fit onto an American C-17, women to join their new government. But the Taliban also said they will always be guided by strict Islamic Sharia law, as all beauty salons and advertising showing women are now being painted over. Many Afghans don't believe the Taliban's promises of tolerance.
Somebody should help me.
Hasib, a translator for the U.S. military, is one of thousands in hiding this morning. Translators have been marked for death by the Taliban. Hasib has no visa to the U.S. and no way of getting to the airport if he had one.
And then what you trying to tell me is these people done flew in $2.9 billion in cash? Somebody give me $2.9 billion in cash. Please, just drop $2.9 billion in cash to New Orleans. Please, we could use it. We could use $2.9 billion in cash. I divide it up equally amongst everybody. Yeah. Do a night drop. Drop it in Lake Pontchartrain. Me and my partner Jordan, we'll go get it. This is crazy. Y'all remember her saying that, right? You remember that? Do you remember what he said, right? Because that was just disgusting, the way she phrased it. And all that glamour, she still got a behind one. Don, they're not going to show Don responding? Don, say something to this trick.
We did have an agreement negotiated anymore. You're going to have people all the time. Soldiers.
Response to her saying that you began the negotiations with the Taliban.
So if you take a look at that period of time, the Taliban was killing our soldiers, a lot of them, with snipers. And I got involved with the Taliban because the Taliban was doing the killing. That's the fighting force within Afghanistan. They don't bother doing that because, they deal with the wrong people all the time. But I got involved. And Abdul is the head of the Taliban. He is still the head of the Taliban. And I told Abdul, don't do it anymore. You do it anymore, you're going to have problems. And he said, why do you send me a picture of my house? I said, you're going to have to figure that out, Abdul. And for 18 months, we had nobody killed. We did have an agreement negotiated by Mike Pompeo. It was a very good agreement. The reason it was good, we were getting out.
What is going on with her fake-ass head movements over here? And her eyes. Why is her eyes doing that? It's like somebody saying, Kamala, turn your head, hold your chin up. Look at it, watch it. I know we're supposed to be listening to Don, but watch this. Watch.
Very good agreement. The reason it was good, we were getting out. We would have been out faster than them, but we wouldn't have lost the soldiers. We wouldn't have.
Somebody talking to that woman. You can see it. It's crazy.
Left many Americans behind, and we wouldn't have left $85 billion worth of brand new, beautiful military equipment behind. And just to finish, they blew it. The agreement said you have to do this, and they didn't do it. The agreement was terminated by us because they didn't do what they were supposed to do.
Okay, stop right there. Now, in retrospect, in hindsight, after the fact, we heard that showdown go on. And then what you're trying to tell me is y'all been giving these people $2.9 billion in cash, and we members of the United Nations, ain't we? Didn't Trump say we need to get out of the UN? I kind of remember him saying, I'm going to pull us out of the United Nations. $2.9 billion to the Taliban. So the question is, why are they retooling the Taliban? You want to know why? Because they're going to take us back to war with them. Because the military-industrial complex makes money when we go to war and when we sacrifice our children on the altar of war. So give it another 5-6 years, we'll be back in Afghanistan. But in order to get there, we need something to happen. You know what I'm saying? We need some kind of major event to happen where we can blame it on the Taliban. Let's go back over there and kill the Taliban people because they did something to America, and we're going to get the Taliban. We'll see it in our lifetime. I promise you. You'll live to see it.